Hello, everybody. This is Megan,
And this is Alana.
and welcome to Tea Time Crimes. Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. How are the squirrels? Give us a squirrel update.
Oh, well, they're about to be out of here. They're ready to go into that outdoor enclosure that Peanut did. So they're on the way and they never got names. Shame. Girl and boy, that's how far we got.
They won't have names in the wild, so
True. It's
it's
true.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they do. When we get sweet, they might be like, or something. I don't know.
I love that. That's great.
That's more of my dolphin noise. I don't know.
That was a good dolphin noise too. We also temporarily.
Oh, God. Another animal?
No, it's
Stop
very,
it.
It's very
Stop.
temporary.
Yeah, just like the cat that sleeps
a
with you.
rooster.
Oh, my God.
It got in like all the roosters picked on it, and so it needed to be taken away from the 9th ward. And so,
What does that even mean? Is that a neighborhood, or are you just saying
it's
that?
a neighborhood, yeah. And so it's here for now, but it's quite an escape artist. I really hope Chris closed that back door because I can hear that rooster through it.
So it wakes you and the neighbors up every morning at dawn.
It doesn't actually start crowing until it's let out of the coop, which is good.
Oh, so it's a bad rooster. That's why the other ones were picking on it. They were like, dude, get out. You don't even know how to rooster. Go home. Don't be laying eggs with that kind of crap crow. Get out of here.
Yeah. So it escaped once, like during the night, and then Chris put a bunch of like netting at the top of the chicken area, and it still escaped last night. We're like, what the hell? We got back from a movie, Dungeons and Dragons, by the way. So freaking fun. Highly recommend it.
Sounds right up my alley.
You know, it might be too much for you, but like I think they did a good job making it like, yes, it's in the Dungeons and Dragons world, but it's not. It's fun enough that anybody can enjoy it.
Which is weird because I love dungeons and I like dragons. You'd think I'd like the combo. Do you know?
You might like it because it's really funny. And Chris Pine is in it, so I'd give it a chance.
I don't know who that is. All right, continue.
Yeah, so we came back from the movie and and Chris comes back inside because he's closing up the coop. And he's like, he's gone. And I was like, again? How is it possible?
How'd you get him back?
The first time?
Either time.
Oh my. The first time, we gave up. We couldn't find him at night. We're like, all right, we're never going to see him again. And then the morning of, Chris is at work. I go out there to let the chickens out. And I hear the rooster. So I can hear it somewhere. I look up and it is in the tree. It's in a tree.
So he's dumb.
Yes.
This rooster needs help.
He's dumb and terrified. So he was in the tree like a bird would be, a normal bird would be.
Oh my gosh.
Eventually he gets himself down and we get him in there. And
he thinks he's a sparrow. On. He's so confused.
And I don't know how he escaped this time without, like, because he got the netting all around the fence. So, yeah.
Maybe just let him run free.
Yeah, it's going to be a temporary arrangement because...
Why? Are the rooster people coming to get him?
No, I think Chris will talk to them and find a better home for it. It really belongs on like a farm. Because, my impulse is to say roosters are useless, but that's not fair. Because you could say the same things about humans. Like, chickens lay eggs. Roosters, like, I guess they fertilize stuff and they keep their flock safe. But, like, humans are are parasites. If you think about the broader picture of like ecosystem.
This has gone off the rails. I don't know what you're talking about. Now you are just saying all of humankind is terrible because this one weird rooster you have.
No. Like, people hate mosquitoes. People kill roosters all the time because they're like, they don't give me eggs. Yeah. In the I don't know if you want to know this, in the chick farms, if they're boys, they throw them right into the grinder.
Well, now I know it. So thanks for giving me the option. Thanks for letting me choose.
I should have earmuffed you.
Yeah. Goes both ways, ma'am. Oh, I'm going to get you back.
No, you've
Just
already gotten me
wait.
back a million times. I have a whole list that I got to get you back on.
Mm-hmm.
It's outweighed, ma'am.
Anyway, so Dum Dum's going to find another home.
Yes, this is a very temporary arrangement, but he didn't have anywhere to go. So, Christopher, there has to be an animal saint. St. Patrick? Yeah. No. He banished snakes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wish the best for the rooster.
I know. We got to come up with a name for him because he's like dumb and a little pathetic. Do you have any dumb, pathetic people of this episode?
No.
Wow.
Well, if you think of one, let me know. Do you find that you hide details from me because you want to surprise me on the podcast?
Sometimes. This is one of them.
Right? This was a moment because I can't believe you haven't told me this.
I know.
It sounds chaotic.
I was waiting.
Yeah, it was good.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, I'll give you a dummy debriefing. So
no. How Slappy fitting in there to the house?
Well, yeah, Slappy is fully enmeshed. If you didn't listen to our previous episode, the Reverend and the Reprobate had us back on, and then they gave us a ventriloquist dummy for my son, who really, really wants one, and I hate the dummy. Unfortunately, my son got really, really sick. He's okay, but we had to spend a night at the ER, and it was scary, and it was just after he got Slappy, so he hadn't yet forgotten about Slappy, like the novelty hadn't worn off. Instead, he's become like they've bonded through trauma.
Oh,
do you know?
Boy. That's a deep bond.
Yeah, so now Slappy sleeps with him, and
no.
Yeah, and he was in a lot of pain with what he had. So Slappy, the only thing that would make him feel better is I had to take Slappy, do the voice, and rub my son's back and head to make him feel better with the little dummy hands.
No. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I said, sorry, son. Hope you feel better. Slappy's going out the window.
It's very like Saturday Night Live baby hand skit, which I'm good at, just with my own naturally small baby hands.
Yeah.
I feel like I've just been catapulted into like just another level of it. And
have you looked at puppet classes or anything around the area of getting him real deep into this?
Stop it.
I'm just wondering.
I did try to lean in a little bit. I said, you got to start practicing a routine with Slappy. You got to come up with some jokes. For Halloween, he wants to be Slappy, and I told him that Brad would be the ventriloquist.
Oh yeah.
So they'd have to come up with a routine. And he came upstairs yesterday. He flings open the door, comes in my room, and goes, "Hey, mommy, check it out." And he has drawn black marker lines down the corners of his mouth to look like a ventriloquist dummy. So
were you able to get that off?
I go, he goes, "Oh, don't worry, it's dry. It's dry." Meaning it was a dry erase marker.
Oh.
I was like, okay, cool. Just make sure it's not a Sharpie. We're gonna have to
Maybe
really rub your skin
eyeliner.
off. Oh, so yeah, he's just getting ready. That's what's happening with the dummy debrief. But I've wasted enough of your time. Why don't you get into your tea? Because we have a very special cup, don't we?
Yes, we
Did you get a gift from me?
I did. So we got a recent listener who kind of binged all of our stuff. We really appreciate that. We saw a spike and we're like, what's happening? And then she commented on our podcast. So Megan gets to see it again.
Yeah, thanks for showing me. You guys see that? So what she said was, Alana did a quick video on our Instagram, and she responded and said, "It's so strange to see your face after binge watching all of your episodes."
Right.
And I looked her up, and because her handle was HannMade, is the name of it, right? Because her name is Hannah, and she hand makes pottery. And I thought, oh, how cute. And she had all these handmade teacups. So I got one for Alana, and I sent it to her. So we'll link her Etsy shop in the show notes.
HannMadePottery, and we'll put all of her tags in our show notes. And she also wrote a personal note. I won't read it out loud,
but so sweet.
So sweet. Thank you so much, Hannah. And look how good her handwriting is. It's perfect lines without having lines.
Gosh.
She also agrees that chai is the best. And she has a mushroom mug in the works.
Oh my gosh. And here's the amazing part. She made, because she makes everything by hand, obviously
Yeah.
the name. She made this while listening to one of our episodes, which is so,
The Queen of Thieves.
was it Queen of Thieves?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's so amazing to me.
It's trippy. Yeah, it's so cool.
And it's
so,
such a cute little mug. It's got little white hearts on it, and it's kind of like a tumbler,
adorable.
right?
Yes.
You call it? But anyway, we'll link everything. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah.
We're pumped.
We're pumped. All
All
right.
right. Take us into your tea world.
All right.
Take us into the depths of your mouth feels.
So I've had this tea for a really long time. I'm not sure how tea expires, if it does expire. But this is from Big Heart Tea Co. And it is Royal Treatmint. But treatment is not spelled as you would normally think it would be. Do you have a guess?
Treemint. Treatmint.
That would have been better, but it's just the mint at the end. It's a refreshing mint and lavender tea.
Oh, lavender. You don't love mint, though, do you?
I do.
I do.
I do. I also love a mint julep, actually.
Hey.
First of all, it says, "You are awesome. Thank you. Do you need a cup of coffee after your cup of coffee? Too much caffeine consumption can weaken your adrenal system and make it harder for you to..." What? Consumption.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You know what?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was trying to understand what conception was like. Are you thinking about caffeine too much? I'm sorry.
They are. That's what it sounds like. Too much caffeine consumption can weaken your adrenal system and make it harder for you to respond to stress. Well, we all need help with that.
I respond to stress, baby. It's the response that's the problem.
Was blended with the caffeine junkie in mind to restore balance. It helps with coffee breath too. Rude.
Ew.
So I'm not a coffee drinker. I think we
really
know this.
Did we not know that? How am I just learning this?
But I've always wanted to try this tea. I've just been sitting in my cupboard for a while. It just sounds like a nice combination. Like, it sounds very uplifting. It has tulsi, lavender, spearmint, peppermint, and ginkgo leaf. And it's based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Gonna be quite hot. I probably should have put ice cube in it because it's heavy.
Right, because you don't put milk in it. Milk really cools it down.
A milk would ruin this.
Excuse me. Again, I'm agreeing with you. I'm explaining why a herbal tea is hotter than a tea you put milk in. Good Lord.
Okay.
You're responding.
First of all, I smell the mint. That's about it. All right.
You should write mystery novels. Just everyone would always suspense thrillers, you know?
All right. There's obviously no body. We know this. We've learned this by this point. If not,
Duh.
Go study up.
If you don't know that, go back and listen to any episode.
It is very minty. Shocking. The spearmint kind of takes a dive as the lead here. It is definitely sitting and resting in the palate. And it's just it's like a warm, minty feeling, but I'm trying to detect the lavender. And I think I do. It's like wafting at the back of my throat, the lavender part. But it's very subtle. It is a very nice blend. I approve.
So the spearmint's just like sitting on a park bench in your tongue, and then like a butterfly of lavender floats by.
Yeah. See, you're getting it.
I'm getting it.
Beautiful. Love that.
Only took me a year.
You're on board now.
I'm a fast learner.
This is a lovely spring day's thumbs up. And those words are all hyphenated up until the thumbs up.
It's important.
Just so you know.
When you speak, do you see all the words in your brain?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's amazing. I definitely don't.
Or I like feel them. Maybe it's seeing them in my brain.
How do you feel them?
I don't know. I just know, like, I can't describe it. I think seeing it in my brain is a better way to describe it.
When I speak, it's a surprise to everyone, including myself.
I feel like that's how it happens to me too.
I don't know what's going to come
on
out.
this podcast.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, God. No.
Okay.
No, I deserve better from last week.
What was last week? Oh, yeah. It wasn't too gruesome. Last week was Helen. I mean, it was sad.
Yeah, you're right.
And tragic, but it was 1800s.
There was a Disney spin.
How so?
Mrs. Potts was there. So that helped for me.
If you take out multiple, well, I don't want to ruin it for anyone else who hasn't listened to last week, but yeah, there's some very non-Disney elements to that. Okay.
Slightly.
Let's get into it. So can you earmuff real quick?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm muffed. I mean, earmuffed.
All right. Alana is going to love today's episode, but I just want to mess with her for a minute.
I'm back.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
So 2021,
No, I would like to exit.
a mutilated corpse is found on
Okay.
the side of the road.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you. None of that's true.
Oh my God. You're the worst.
I mean, a mutilated corpse probably was found, but that's not what we're going to do today. We're going to do female assassins today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you'd love it. I just wanted to mess with you. Also, assassins. Do you know how that's spelled?
Oh,
really?
there's a lot of donkey going on.
What?
Full circle.
Oh, yes, it's two back-to-back asses. Yes, it
Yeah.
really messed with my brain. It's ass-ins. Anyway, so there aren't a lot of female assassins that at least got caught. So
Oh my God, I'm
that I know
so
about.
excited for this.
I knew you would be. So I'm gonna just go through 3 today.
Okay.
3 women. So we won't swim as deep, but we'll skim the surface of the assassin lake.
Oh.
So our first lady is Charlotte Corday. She was born 1768 in Normandy.
Oh.
Okay, and her birth it was noble, but she's not particularly wealthy.
Okay.
I think her family's doing well enough that she gets an education,
Okay.
but not well enough that maybe they've got some summer home situations going on.
Got it.
But in 1782, her mother dies.
Oh.
Her father's really devastated, and he doesn't really know what to do with himself or his children. So he sends Charlotte to boarding school,
Oh.
which means she gets a pretty good education, and she's super smart and she's super curious.
Hmm.
Now, while she's at school, she finds that she really loves philosophy, history, and politics.
Me too.
So Charlotte wants to have an elected government, and she wants to change the French monarchy. She wants people to have the right to vote. That's what
These
she
are
believes.
big goals.
Yeah, big goals. So in the summer of 1789, things are really heating up in France.
Is this when Les Mis is? Do you wanna do a duet?
I don't know. I've never seen
What?
I don't know any songs from it. Otherwise, I would.
Wow.
I know. It's shocking, right?
Yeah, I really thought you would.
You'd think I would too. I'll get on that.
dreamed a dream, oh no, no, no. I don't know the words.
Really? Because I think, no. I'm sure that's it. I've never seen it, but that sounds like something award-winning that would absolutely hit Broadway. And you filled your quota for one song for the day. So France is getting a little spicy, and July 14, 1789, the storming of the Bastille occurs. We've talked about the Bastille before, right? Do you remember our Aqua Tofana episode? Not for Aqua Tofana, but for Madame Bienvenue.
Yes.
So the Bastille was seen as an oppression placed on the people by the monarchy. This kicks off the French Revolution, which they call a decade of terror. So it doesn't sound great.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to get into it any more than that. I think the name really does it justice.
God, all I want to do is sing right now.
Oh boy. Yeah, please don't sing any more Destiny's Child.
Or TLC.
I don't think you're ready for spaghetti stuck in my head all week. And those aren't even close to the lyrics. And you didn't believe me.
They're absolutely close. It's one word off.
It's just so different than what they're talking about or what they're saying. Like the words don't sound. It's not like you said, I don't think you're ready for this belly, like which is close to jelly. You were like, I don't think you're ready for dinner. Wash your hands. I
still can't believe it's jelly. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
I sent you the proof.
I know. Anyways,
sorry. So
please focus.
Revolution's happening, right? There are obviously sides to a revolution. Otherwise, it's a pretty boring revolution if everyone agrees. And you have different political parties who are technically on the same side.
Oh, I'm loving this already. The intrigue, the layers.
Meaning they want the same outcome.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily want it in the same way. So Charlotte resonates with the Girondin political party, which is they want the same thing that she wants. They want to overthrow the monarchy, but they want to do it peacefully.
Off with their heads.
No, they want to do it peacefully.
Oops.
Yep. They want to create change in a peaceful way. Now, on the other side, you've got, it's a French word, but it basically means mountain men.
Please say it. L'homme de, how do you say mountain?
No, it's like montagnard or something. Montagnard.
Montagnard.
Yeah, anyway, the mountain men. They are, one of their leaders, Jean-Paul Marat, is wanting the same thing. He wants to overthrow the monarchy, but he wants to do it violently.
Because they're mountain men.
So Marat is actually pretty smart. He was first known on the scene as a pretty respected physician.
Oh.
And then he started getting more and more into science and wanted to be a scientist. And so he created a scientific lab where he's doing research. I understand that it's the 1700s, but what he's researching loses a little bit of its wow factor in present day. He's researching fire, heat, electricity, and light. So,
Oh.
I mean,
Got it.
at the time, that's
Yeah, it's good stuff.
groundbreaking. Yeah. So after the storming of the Bastille, Marat starts a paper which translates to the People's Friend. And he's basically naming names, critiquing everything in power, and really calling out the upper class, even though he himself is wealthy. So it's a little...
Interesting. Is he actually like distributing his own wealth? Probably not.
No. And he's often suggesting violence.
Aye.
And he's saying things like at least 300,000 people will need to die if this revolution is going to work.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah. Also, where are you getting that number? Like, how is that math working out?
250 not gonna work. Let's push it up a notch.
Yeah. I was like, he's not.
Yeah, he's not a general here. What's happening?
So Charlotte detests Marat. She thinks his ideas are... Oh gosh. She thinks his ideas are dangerous. She thinks they are foolish, and she's very concerned about France. Now, in September of 1792, a couple big things happen. One, the king is overthrown.
Bye.
Yikes. And there is a massacre that occurs called the September Massacre. It's not really a unique name. Assume it happened in September. And a mob formed, killing 1,400 people, and it was mostly priests and prisoners of petty crimes. Not that it should matter in terms of like who dies based on morality, but it's not a... It wasn't like it was part of the revolution,
Everybody, all the people are killing, and they're doing prisoners and priests. That's weird. I would think that the prisoners would be safe in this situation because they're like part of the people.
Well, the king and his wife, Marie Antoinette, are executed in 1793. So
how? With the guillotine?
Yeah, beheaded. Yeah. By the way, after they captured the king, then they
let them eat cake.
Then they kept him a prisoner for several months, and they referred to him as Citizen Louis, like just to bug him, which I feel like is just so petty. You're about to kill the man. Come on now.
I mean, that guy was not nice.
Sure, but I just feel like they just were like, hey, citizen.
Also, everybody's really smelly during this time, and like there's just wafts of like terrible smell, and then perfume on top of it. Just like let that settle over you.
You're so obsessed. I think you're only scared of serial killers and bad smells.
Mm-hmm. That's accurate. My nose is very strong.
You've told us. So during this entire bit of chaos, Marat is encouraging violence with his pen. He's actually charged with printing statements of violence, and he goes to court. He's found not guilty, which only seems to make his following stronger.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it like people are like, oh,
strengthen the movement.
Yes. So Charlotte is legitimately afraid that a civil war is going to break out.
Wait, quick question.
Oh God.
Who's in charge right now?
Just chaos.
Okay.
Citizen Louis is dead.
So Citizen Louis is dead. Okay, so like monarchy is fucked. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know the exact timing. I didn't do a full
but
French
that
history.
makes sense.
But
disappointing.
So Charlotte decides that she is going to take care of the situation herself by killing Marat.
I knew it. I knew she was going to do it. He's taking it too far. Well, she wants to solve it in other ways.
I mean, what tipped you off? The fact that I said we're going to talk about female assassins, or the fact that I've only talked about 2 people for the whole time?
I mean, she doesn't like his methods.
No, she doesn't.
Oh my God, I can't wait to find out how.
She travels to Paris.
Like, is it soft bits or poison? Okay, sorry.
Go. Oh God. She travels to Paris. And on July 11th, 1793, she goes to a public convention where Marat is supposed to speak.
Oh.
And she's planning to do it there. He does not attend.
They have muskets by this point, too.
Attend because he has a severe skin condition that forces him to spend hours in a medicinal bath every single day.
This sounds like
something like leprosy. It's like an unknown skin condition that causes blisters and irritation and itching.
Is it shingles?
Skiska? I think it might be, yeah. Skiska really got him. No, they think it's shingles would have eventually resolved. They think it's something like leprosy.
Wow.
Yeah. So Charlotte has to pivot. So July 13th, she goes to Marat's house.
Strangle him in the bath.
And she says she has urgent business to discuss with Marat. She's turned away by whoever answers the door, but she leaves a note. And the note, I'm paraphrasing, but it basically says, I have inside information on the movement that you need to know about. That's what she says. So she comes back later that same day. This time she is allowed in, but Marat is in the bath. But apparently he takes business meetings in the tub. Ugh.
Love it.
Yeah, but the tub, to be fair to Marat, the tub is shaped kind of like a boot, so you can't really see anything.
Okay, that sounds really scary. Like if your body was claustrophobic, that would be scary.
No, it's like the boot starts like maybe below his chest, like his arms are out.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like if you're flipped upside down, it would be scary.
Yeah, a lot that happens to tubs a lot. They really flip.
No, the person.
So he hears the commotion outside his little tub, and he says, "Come on in." And she sits next to him and tells him that she has insider information on the Girondin party, and she names deputies, and he's writing them down. He's getting agitated, and he says, "Thank you for this. I'm going to get them all captured and all of them executed." And as soon as he finishes that sentence, she stands up, pulls a knife out of her pocket, and
Slits his
stabs him
throat.
once directly in the heart.
That doesn't feel thorough.
It worked. He was dead instantly.
Instantly?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job. Is this her first time? Like this is the beginning of her assassin career.
It's the beginning and the quick end. So it's funny that you're saying this because when she was brought in, I'll circle back to how she got captured. But when she was brought in, that was sort of the questions they asked her. They're like, "How could you have done this alone? How was there so much planning? How could you have got him with one blow?" And she said, very calm and collected, she said, "My heart led me to his." Like she basically was just
Whoa.
like, "I wanted it and I did it." Anyway.
Well, that's a guy.
So she doesn't even try to escape. Now, he did scream as she was stabbing him. So
Sure.
people come running in and they start beating her up. She was actually spared by being arrested because she probably would have been killed by the crowd.
Yikes.
And she was escorted right down to the jail where they interrogated her. And she said, "I acted alone and just killed him on the first blow." And she said, quite famously, "Anything was justified for the security of the nation. I killed one man in order to save 100,000.
I mean, maybe up to 300,000. Let's talk numbers here.
Yeah, we're even underestimating. So she's sentenced to death. She makes just one request, that they not cut her hair. She has this really thick, beautiful, long hair. And
Interesting.
she says, "I will tie it up on my head to make sure it is out of your way."
It's for the guillotine.
Yeah. So on July 17th, so just a few days later, she is forced to
Jeez.
wear a red shirt to show she is a traitor. And she is walked to be beheaded. She's calm. She's elegant while awaiting death. And she doesn't say a word. She's beheaded. The executioner holds up her head by her hair.
Gross.
And the folklore says that her eyes opened one last time to stare at the crowd.
No.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Now, she had such poise during her execution that a man who witnessed it named Adam Lux, took one look at her and begged to be put to death so that he could join her.
That's
the other
fucking
side.
weird, bro.
And they say that they allowed it and they put him to
What?
death.
What?
And he asked to make sure you use the same ropes that you used on Charlotte.
Okay, so that was one of my questions. Do they clean the blade between executions?
Well, they didn't do it right then. I mean, they did it later.
I know, but just generally.
I don't know.
I wonder if they even care. Like, who
why
cares
would
if
you
you're
care?
getting... Yeah, but I guess the executioner might care if you have to deal with, like, a buildup of blood. Actually, you probably have to maintain the blades. Yeah,
you have to maintain the sharpness, yes.
Yep.
So this guy went to be executed as well. And that's a gentleman who's in the friend zone for all of eternity.
Yeah, no kidding.
Come on.
That's a simp. Wow, that's intense.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though.
What?
So Marat's dead. He was probably going to die anyway, pretty quickly, because he would, whatever was going on with those baths.
Yeah.
But he became a martyr.
Oh.
Statues of him, towns named after him, and the reign of terror continued until 1799. Today, Marat's bathtub and the knife Charlotte used are in a museum.
Whoa. How is he beheld today? Is he beheld still with honor, or?
It's starting to switch a little, and with some time, people have often asked why Charlotte wasn't written into history as the hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Wonder if Howard Zinn had covered it.
It doesn't seem like a great plan, though. I mean, I don't know that she really. I understand why she thought she was doing it,
Mhm.
but he was going to die anyway. Couldn't you just wait a minute?
Maybe she didn't know if he was
I
going to die.
guess.
And
I
she was
guess.
just like, enough is enough. So many people are dying. I got to do something.
I guess. But I feel like it also didn't really do it. I don't think that it did anything in the grand scheme of things.
Ouch.
I know. But
Charlotte, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
yeah, I am sorry too, Charlotte. I mean, she certainly was trying to do what she thought was best and trying to save lives.
But she did give a good guide to assassinating. Go with your heart and you'll find the heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, write that down. Put that on a pillow.
Yeah, that's my last words for this story.
Good Lord. All right, now our second madam,
Whoa, this is so fun.
her name is, I apologize for all of the pronunciations that are about to
Oh,
happen.
yes.
Her name is Shi Jianqiao, and she was born Shi Gulan in 1906 in a small village in China. She had 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh.
Her family, they were farmers, but she still got an extensive education.
Really?
Now, her father, Shi Jianqiao, was in the military. Starting in 1911, China is about to enter into a lot of turmoil, and they're about to enter the warlord period. So
Oh, boy.
none of these names sound great, right?
Did you say, what time did you say? What year?
1911.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. So power is constantly shifting.
Yeah.
War is breaking out all the time. It's rough. By 1920, Shi Jianqiao was a lieutenant for Zhang Zongshang. In the
Okay.
fall of 1925, Shi Jianqiao, which is Shi's father, was in an ambush. He was captured and executed by a rival, Su Xuanfang. Now, then, Shi Jianqiao's head was then displayed on a stick, like toted around.
Ew.
Yeah.
I think it's like so common in those days. Not in the 1920s. That's a little early for that. But like earlier, that's so common. It's so gross. Like you have, like when they put them on on castle like stuff, it's like
Yeah.
you got to stand around that. Like gross.
Yeah.
Like just ship it off to someone instead if you need to do that to scare them.
You mean like UPS it?
Yeah, like the ham. It'll probably leak out like the ham. Okay, stop getting gross.
Throwback to when my dad mailed me deli meat. So Sun does not stay in power for long. The warlord period ends and he retires from the military in 1931. Now, Shi Jianqiao, I'm going to call her Shi for the rest of the time. She was devastated by her father's death and she kept an eye on Sun.
Oh.
By 1935, so she's really keeping an eye on him. That's a whole decade.
Yeah.
She's married. She has 2 children. Both of them are sons. And she enrolls one of her sons in Sun's daughter's school so that she can find out things about him.
Oh my God.
And she finds out where he lives. Yes. And she's patient. She finds out where he lives. She watches his movements. She finds a place where he spends most of his time, which is actually a Buddhist shrine.
Mm-hmm.
She goes there, pretends to be interested in joining.
Oh my God. And breaks his neck.
Like learns the lay of the land, and then she waits.
Oh my God.
On November 13th, 1935, her name, Jianqiao, she changed it herself because it means sword wielder. That's not.
What?
That's why she named it. Yeah, that's why she changed it. So she finds that he's there. She walks up behind him as he's leading prayer, and she shoots him 3 times.
In the back of the head?
In the back. He was not facing her. She did not run. Instead, she says, I have avenged the murder of my father. Do not fear. I will not hurt anyone else, nor will I run away.
Yeah,
And
she's being really rational.
She hands out pamphlets that include an explanation, an apology, and poetry that she's dedicated to her parents that she wrote herself.
That's amazing.
A book called Public Passions by Eugenia Lean published some of the poetry. Here's the poem that was included. I dare not forget the revenge of my father for a single moment. It breaks my heart to watch my mother's temples turn gray. I am loath to let her suffer any longer. The opportunity should not be squandered. I cannot bear to look back to 10 years ago. Things have remained the same. Only the scenery has changed. I arrive at the society not to find the Buddha. I seek death, not immortality.
Yeah.
And she particularly apologizes for killing him in
the Buddhist sanctuary.
Yes. Yeah. And she signs this all female avenger.
Are you kidding me?
No, female avenger.
That's the first Avenger, folks.
And then she puts her fingerprint on it to authenticate that it's her.
She is very thoughtful.
Well, she's arrested. As she's being arrested, she also hands the authorities her will. She's prepared it, and everything is to go to her mother and especially to take care of her children so that everything will be taken care of if she does not return. And they put her in prison. Now, she spends her time in prison helping other prisoners learn how to read and writing poetry about what has happened, which she releases to the public. So the public is actually really sympathizing with her because she seems so authentic, and they can understand her pain and they understand her actions.
This is a real motivation to do that.
Yeah, they're really getting behind her. Again, the same questions for Charlotte are asked to her. How could you have done this alone? This was a lot of planning. It was a lot of time. How did you get all these pamphlets? Who wrote all this material? Like, how did you get this branding in place before you took action? And every time she speaks, she's vilifying Soon and glorifying her parents.
Okay.
Now, when she actually goes to trial, obviously it's not a whodunit. She says she did it.
She done it.
But her defense is that the murder was justified due to filiality, which is from Confucius traditions, which means living your life in a way that supports and respects your parents. So essentially that it was her daughterly duty to avenge her father. Now, the prosecution, however, says your father was killed in battle, so the revenge is not justified, which you can kind of understand what they're saying.
But yeah, I get it.
So for the first trial, mitigating circumstances are rejected, and she's sentenced to a minimum of 10 years in prison.
Okay.
Or her team appeals, and on the second trial, her murder was deemed out of righteous anger. So it was reduced to a maximum of 7 years.
Oh, I didn't know that could help.
She appeals again, and it goes to the Supreme Court. FYI, the public is still fully supporting this vigilante justice.
Okay. Love it.
The Supreme Court decides her father was wrongfully murdered. So she is allowed leniency in her sentence. And then they come back and say they believe her actions to be forgivable because she acted alone. Her goal was only to fulfill her duty as a daughter, and she did not try to protect or save herself in any way.
Yeah.
And she's given a full pardon.
Wow.
Yeah. Years later, she would admit that she had formed this plan with her brothers and sisters.
Okay. But she didn't want to get them in trouble.
But she was never going to name them because she did not want to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
She led a full life and died
girl.
in 1979.
Wow. Last words for this one. Patience is a virtue. Like, I could never do that.
I love how none of your last words are like, hey, maybe don't kill somebody. You're like, you know what? Really stick with it a whole decade.
That's the most dangerous people, who can wait it out and like plan it out and seek the best opportunity. Because like I would just immediately turn around and have righteous anger, as they say. But that's a planner.
Yeah.
Look out for that one, folks.
Yeah.
Put her in the government.
All right, ready for the last one?
Yes, this is the best.
This one was on all the lists. She's technically not an assassin, and I would wonder if she's even a spy, but I'm going to tell you her story because I think it's interesting.
Okay.
So Margaretha Zelle was born August 7th, 1876 in the Netherlands.
Oh.
Now, her father, Adam, was really wealthy, and he spoiled her rotten. He adored her.
Fish. So, cold fish.
What?
Don't they eat a lot of cold fish up there?
Oh my God. I don't know. I was like, he's not giving her cold fish. What are you talking about? But as Margarita gets older, her father goes bankrupt.
Oops, what's he do wrong?
I don't know, but maybe buying her some of the things he was buying her. It goes bankrupt, and it's really, really tough.
Too much fish.
Yeah, too much of that fish. Didn't even heat it up. He goes bankrupt. It's really, really rough for him. And then on the heels of that, Margarita's mother dies.
Oh.
So Margarita and her brothers are all sent to different boarding schools. Now, Margarita is sent away at 15, and she is sent to a school to learn to become a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, that's nice.
Side note, Margarita has turned into a very beautiful woman, which she will use to her advantage later on in life.
Okay.
But it is taken advantage of in this moment because at 16, she is expelled from this school for having an affair with the headmaster.
Ew.
Yeah. Do you know what happened to him?
Nothing.
That's right.
Fuck you.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
she's now kicked out of school. What do you do? So she's, trying to pick up the pieces. As she gets a little bit older, in 1895, she answers one of those like personal ads in the newspaper
Yeah.
that was posted by John McLeod. Now, he's about 20 years older than her, but
Wow.
he's a Dutch officer. His mother's a baroness. He's from a military family. He's got a little bit of status. And so they get married and they move to the colonies in Dutch East Indies, which is Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
And they start their married life. They end up having 2 children together. Now, it's believed that she was in love with John, but the honeymoon period comes to an end and John's not great. He's abusive and
Great.
he's an adulterer. So she recounts in a letter that he tried to kill her with a butter knife, for example.
That's not a great.
No. He also gives Margaretha syphilis, which she then passes on to the children.
Oh.
And so there's no treatment for syphilis at this day and age. And
God.
their son ends up dying from the mercury treatment that is available in 1899 at the age of 2. The worst part is John blames Margaretha and he sends her back to Holland with their daughter, but the courts won't allow her to keep the little girl because she doesn't make any money. She doesn't have a way to support herself. So John takes her daughter and she never sees her again.
Oh my God. This poor woman.
I know. So what do you do after this, right?
Break down and find a gutter.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that I could reinvent myself like she did after this.
Wow.
She doesn't have much money. What money she does have, she spends on beautiful clothes and she goes to Paris. I mean, heads turn when she walks into a room. You'll see pictures of her. She just there's something about her in some of these photos. She also in Indonesia learned how to dance. And she didn't study dance. She must not be the most technical or most technically perfect dancer because she wasn't there long enough to master it, but she picked up what she could and she must have this indescribable quality. She starts performing. She changes her name to Matahari and she starts dancing, saying it is a traditional Indonesian dance to avoid being banned because she's wearing very sheer clothes, which she strip teases off.
What kind of clubs are these?
Clubs? Clothes.
No, but like, where is she dancing?
Oh, she's dancing all over. People are loving it. And because she's saying she's emulating a traditional
she's
dance,
appropriating other cultures.
Yeah, people are like, oh, it's so cultural. Keep it going. And she's in these...
Show the nip.
Yeah. Well, she strip teases. She always has the bra on, but like then the bottoms come off.
Interesting choice.
I don't know if the top came off too, but the top looks intricate. It looks... You'll see pics. Anyway, she's super successful at it. And it's a way for her to get her independence. She's also doesn't really ever tell the truth about herself. She just creates a lot of mystery around her image. It's almost like a persona. She's just putting on a show to get through it and live her life. Matahari is also having affairs with lots of men who are upper society. So they are accepting her into this high class world and kind
passing around the syphilis,
bringing her around, and they're showering her with gifts, cash, paying for her living, all of that.
Good.
Eventually, her success starts to dwindle because others start copying her.
Ugh.
And so there's more, there's less demand. And she's getting older as time passes. So in 1914, she's 38 and she's working on a comeback. She hasn't been dancing as much. So she writes her own show. And she's about to kick it off, but it's 1914.
Mm-hmm.
What's about to happen, Alana?
The Great War.
Yeah.
Which is bad and shouldn't be celebrated.
Yeah, the worst war. So, or a terrible war. World War I breaks out. So nobody gives a shit about her show anymore. It's closed down.
Yeah, she needs to get to the factories.
Now, it affects her financially because she's been living in France, but a lot of her funds are in Germany. And Germany's like, we're locking down all your assets here because we don't know if we can trust you. And she doesn't have really any assets in France because she can't work there right now.
Oh, I know it's going to happen.
And so all of her fur coats are taken from her as like collateral to pay for everything she put into the show so far because she didn't make any money on it.
Oh, no.
And she's broke, totally broke.
Oh, no.
She goes back to Holland for a little bit. She has some guy paying for an apartment there. And she doesn't realize this, but she's actually under surveillance by the British Secret Service. at this time.
Really?
And they're
Why?
worried she might be a spy.
A German spy? Or French?
They're keeping an eye on her. They're not sure.
Okay.
So in 1916, she returns to Paris, but the war has really taken its toll. Paris is not the
Yeah.
Paris that it was when she
Right.
first lived there.
It'd be probably hard to travel around too.
Yeah. Now, she does meet a man named Vadim de Maslov. He's a Russian captain, and he
Yeah, I was like, that
proposed
does
to her.
not sound like a French name.
Yeah, he proposed to her. They were apparently wildly in love.
Oh,
This is thought to be maybe the only time she was truly in love, but she's
Oh.
also said to be old enough to be his mother.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know, whatever.
YOLO.
Yeah, exactly. The British Secret Service alerts the French that Mata may be a spy. And so
Because she's dabbling in all these nationalities.
Yeah, because she's just all over the place. She's with all these men.
Yeah.
George Ladeau, the head of espionage, keeps her under surveillance, but doesn't do anything. I mean, she really, she's just like living her life. So he meets with her and they strike a deal. And she says, for 1 million francs, I'll go to work for the French and get information from the Germans.
She wants her money back.
She wants to set herself up
Exactly it.
with a nest egg for her and her new boy. She starts out on her plan. She has a plan to like get information from the Germans. She starts out and she gets stopped by mistake. They think she's somebody else who is a female spy, and it was just a fluke. And she tells them that she works for George Ladeau, and they call Ladeau, and he's very weary of her. And so he's like, she's lying. I don't know who she is. Send her back to Paris and we'll keep her under surveillance. Like, he kind of throws her under the bus. So she's shipped back to Paris and she's watched around the clock.
This is reminding me of that story with the girl who like went all out, like took her teeth out and everything. Remember?
Yeah, she's not as good though.
No, she's not as good.
No. So February 13th, 1917, Mata Hari's arrested. She's actually accused of being a double agent for Germany and for France.
What?
She's in way over her head. She thinks she can just waltz in there.
I just wanted my fur coats back.
Yeah, she thinks she can waltz in there and just kind of like smooth things over and they'll let her go. And as she first enters, she's like, yeah, I understand we got to get this sorted out, but could I please have a bathroom with a phone in it? And they're like,
would you like to
"No,
see this dance?
You're going to jail, ma'am. Like, you're not even getting a bath. What are you talking about?"
Dude, that French guy sucks.
Yeah. So she spends 6 months in jail not taking bubble baths. She's not even allowed to change her
There are no
clothes.
Baths and only chamber pots.
Yeah. She's interrogated constantly. So many people are dying in Germany and France are just not friends at the moment.
No.
So, and everybody's suspicious. So if you even have a little bit of, suspicious talk around you, it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah.
There's no evidence against her, but they just keep her because they think they can eventually break her.
God, do they torture?
Now, Mata Hari's trying to get out of this. She's writing letters around the clock to all of her former boyfriends, seeing if anybody's in a position to help her. Not one of them responds. So
nice.
Fair weather friends.
Good. Yeah, good connections.
Eventually, a telegram from Germany is intercepted, and it says it's regarding Mata Hari, German spy H21. Now, Mata says she met with the Germans to get information on her way back to Paris, and she had written all of that info down and sent it to Ladeau, but the hotel was full of German agents, and so she naively outed herself as a spy in that moment to Germany. So the telegram that the French received, to this day, nobody knows if the Germans did it to destroy Mata Hari because they sent this telegram in a code that the French had already knowingly cracked.
Huh.
Or they don't know if the French made it up.
Interesting.
Pretended to send it to out Mata Hari. She's in a real jam.
Oh.
She changes her story eventually and says that she did back in 1915 date the head of the German Secret Service. And he offered her 20,000 francs to work for him for a minute. So she's basically admitting to it. And they pin the death of 50,000 French soldiers on Mata Hari's information that she gave.
No way.
Yeah.
She's being a scapegoat.
She's just, exactly.
Yeah, because these fucking men can't take some fucking accountability and ownership, eh?
Well, it sounds like maybe she was trying to play both sides and not doing it well.
Yeah, it didn't work out for her.
But nobody believes that her information led to that death. But nobody knows for sure if was she a spy for the Germans, was she a spy for the French?
It's like not confirmed.
Yeah, nobody's sure because they don't know why would the telegram be sent in a code that was knowingly
Right.
already cracked.
We aren't
Somebody set her
playing
up.
the innocent until proved guilty.
Somebody
situation.
definitely set her up. So on July 24th, 1917, she's on trial. October 15th, 1917, death by firing squad.
Oh, that's my favorite kind. Well, or a
good.
guillotine.
She refuses the blindfold
Wow.
and blows them a kiss
Wow.
and keeps her head held high. And
Good for you, girl.
one of the men said, "By God, this lady knows how to die."
Huh.
So that is the
Oof.
story of Mata Hari. So
Not as talented as the others, I gotta say.
no, well, I don't. I mean,
she's not a planner.
they all got caught.
They did, but she is a mess. She was just trying to cling to whatever she could do. Like she, from the previous story, she was incredible to plan the revenge. And even Charlotte, like, they executed it well. She executed it well, but she seems like a mess in this one.
Yeah. Basically, Mata Hari was doing it just for money and trying to play men like she had been her whole life, and she
just got caught in a
way
fucking
over
world
her head.
war.
Yeah, where the other two women, they had really core beliefs that they wanted to uphold, and they didn't try to run.
It was a cute action on their parts.
They did not try to run. They were like, "I know I'm going to get caught.
Yep.
And I'm willing to take whatever fate comes to me after I get caught." So it's very different stories. But I think Mata Hari might be the one that's most interesting to me just because she is such a mess. Like, there's so much going on with her. Once you see these pictures too, like, there's something so fascinating about her. I mean, she's had such heartbreak. She's been in an abusive marriage.
Yeah.
Her family was taken from her either by death or by her ex-husband.
Yeah, she's had a rough life for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure these other women didn't have it easy up until their point in time either, but she's so interesting to me. Like, what were you thinking? What was going through your head?
I wish she stayed in Holland. Like, my last words for this one is, if there's a world war going on, go to the impartial countries, but not the ones that are going to get invaded.
Which is always easy to know, yeah.
I mean, you could go, New Zealand's usually a good choice.
Okay, everybody go to New Zealand.
Well, not everybody. I have to screen you.
Great. Yeah, so those are 3 interesting women for sure.
Oh my God, can every episode be like this? This is amazing. My energy is at an all-time high right now. I'm buzzing.
I knew you'd love it. You were so mad at me in the beginning.
I was. You totally tricked me. What was the earmuff? You were going to fool me. You told the audience first.
So she's going to love it. I'm going to mess with her, hang with me. Because I didn't want anybody who was earmuffed to get upset when I did say that they found a mutilated corpse. It's not real. It's okay.
I mean, it probably is real.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so
wow.
Jianqiao got out the best. She made out the best on this.
Yes. Good, but I think she's the smartest.
Yeah, obviously. And she really did have help, as she admitted later. Like, she really tried to grab that narrative right out the gate, and she was hoping that but I think she also would have been okay with serving 10 years.
Yeah, she knew what she was signing up for.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that about her. It's honorable,
I guess. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. That was great.
Yeah.
Happy Tuesday.
I wish Charlotte had not done what she had decided to do, because although I can understand where she's coming from, she just should have waited and used her talents in more effective ways, because she was clearly a smart woman.
Yeah, it's just, she must have just hit a breaking point where maybe she lost somebody she knew in one of the violent times, and she's like, this has to stop. And she was just like, this is the way to stop it, cut off the head.
There's a really famous painting of Marat's death that you should post, because he's in the tub.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah.
Claustrophobic tub.
What grosses me out most about these stories is the medicinal bath.
What do you think was in it?
I don't know.
Lavender?
Yeah, what do you think was in it?
I think probably like stupid stuff.
Well, it might not have really been what was in it. I think water was the only thing that didn't make him uncomfortable.
But think how pruny he would get.
But think about how cold that would have been. Is their servants just constantly coming in with boiling water?
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it was like a shoe, keeping some of the heat.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That still, it would go pretty quick. That
Right?
sounds an awful way of living. What if he was it was slowly turning into a merman?
It's plausible. Yeah.
Yeah.
She should have just released him back into the ocean.
Exactly. It solve all the problems.
Solve a lot of problems.
Come on,
Golly.
Charlotte.
Come on, Charlie.
Read your folklore.
Oh, yeah. All right. What last words do you have for us today?
More.
What?
Period.
You love vigilante justice.
Oh, it's my favorite thing.
So weird. It's murder no matter which way you look at it.
Female-driven vigilante murder.
Okay. All right. So we found
it doesn't have to be murder.
We found your
Just
niche murder.
Yeah.
Vigilante what does that mean?
Justice.
So I could just start doing stories.
You could strap people up by their legs and then let the police get them.
Oh, I see.
But at this time, they're going to be executed anyways.
I see. So they can just
like
be
a
torturing the bad guys.
No. Yeah, strap them up. You're not torturing them or it's short term. Batman doesn't like to kill.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. They're not plentiful though.
This was so good. I can't wait to see all the photos.
Yeah. All right. And who should listen today?
Oh, who should listen? Batman, first of all.
Obviously.
Batman, I would say just women generally. People who have been wronged.
No. Don't take this as an example. People who have been wronged in current day. It will not end for you in the same way.
I mean, it will.
Well, maybe you might be executed or put in prison. Yeah.
Depends where you live. Yeah, women generally, wronged people, justice seekers, war enthusiasts, French, German, and Dutch. And if you like mountains, and men.
And if you like a good bubble bath.
I just imagine that bath to be very slimy.
Well, it's blistering. Think of all the stuff in there.
Oh,
it must have had a drain on the side.
Stop.
It must have.
They are so bad at sanitation back then, especially the fucking French. No offense.
It must have been. It probably made it worse.
Oh,
no dermatologist in present day is the best thing you can do for this rash?
Soak in water permanently.
Constantly keep it wet. You don't want this dry at all. Keep it wet in tepid, bacteria-infested water. And let's see where we're at in 2 weeks. Nobody ever says that.
No, it's terrible.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it says about me that's the most disturbing part of the story at this point in my life. I'm totally accepting the murder part because I understand true. I'm this is pretty light for true crime. But at the same time, that bath is really haunting me.
Let's add bathing enthusiasts to the list.
Yeah. Maybe you're listening to this while in the tub.
Yeah. Get out of it.
Yeah. Protect your heart and run. Well, hopefully you're not leading a revolution where you number the people who are going to die.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, you can find us
legendary
all over the place.
All over. Tea Time Crimes.
You can email us at
teatimecrimes@gmail.com. You could just drop a note and say hi. You could say, oh, how are you today? Or you could, suggest a woman or a story or a tea.
Yep. Alana just turned into a fairy princess in the voiceover. All right. All those things are a go. Please park your vigilante justice, though, just in your imagination. All right. We're out before she gets out of hand. Bye.
Rate, review, or subscribe. Bye.
What's wrong with you?
Keep it going. Keep the podcast going. All right, cut.